be great to wake up in the morning and not knowing what to expect the next day? The perfect world to describe the life all college students should live by is to be adventurous, take risks, and actually going for your goals. It's about hopping into a car and not knowing what to expect the next day, about joining clubs in which you may not know whether or not you will like them, trying unexpected things, the Austin Hotline. Through my life experience, I never really thought of doing anything outside my plan. From the time I could talk, I always thought that if I just get good grades and go to college and get a good job, I would actually be pretty successful. It wasn't until my parents actually pushed me to do something I never thought would be possible, which was getting a job. Which kind of reminded me of a character from a story, Kat, from Fangirl, in which she described her life right when she was getting into college. Kat had already sent in her university housing forms, and of course she put Ren down as a roommate. She hadn't thought twice about it. The two of them shared a room for 18 years. Why stop now? Just like Kat, I never wanted to change. But, unlike Kat, my parents pushed me to where I actually went and got a job. Which reminds me a lot of Clarissa Fairchild, who said in a book, Gilded, I think back in the times I've wanted to give up. I have failed so insignificantly and small. It was the sacrifice for the ones I love that helped me succeed. That was a quote from her book, Gilded, in which, if she hadn't traveled from around the world to discover her true passion in writing, she would have stuck as a teacher from which her original plan. Human beings having this a unique ability to focus on things that aren't happening right now, that allows them to reflect on the past and learn from it. It allows them to anticipate and plan for the future, and it allows them to imagine things that might never occur. Matthew Kingman, who was a doctoral student at Belmont University. But, he said, at the same time, it seems that human beings often use this ability in ways that are not productive and furthermore can be destructive to their happiness. We're all human and we don't always plan for every little thing, but yet we learn and grow from it. But at the same time, there are some advantages to actually getting a plan, in which back before I got a job at Sonic, I thought the same thing. In which one philosopher said that over the centuries, many have insisted that a person who lives simply does what she wants and not truly feel free in the throat of their impulses. To act on whim without thinking is to be a kind of slave to their desire. Fit magazine. And there's also a quote from Benjamin Hartley, another psychologist, who said, living in the moment is the reason people have marriage problems, lose control over their health, and why Americans lose trillions of dollars. Now, this may be true for some people who are more impulsive, but having to live by a plan all the time, it's more like acting like a robot, in which you don't really tell a story as much as you don't really feel fulfilled in life. Which brings me to my advantages of why this would actually be useful. Consider the concept of true self. Now, I won when getting a job at my for the first time. I never really thought that it would actually be useful, but once I actually got into Sonic and actually worked and meet these people, I actually discovered a self I never really thought before. It actually helped me grow as a person that I am today. As well as Mark Twain, who said, whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it's time to pause and reflect. This is referring to a story in which just because in the end you may not know what's going to happen, the majority of which seems that in the end, when you're old and gray, you actually have a story to tell. It actually helps you to live life to the fullest. Now, for some of you who still don't believe in what I have to say today, I suggest to you to actually go out and try it for yourselves. You may be surprised for what life could bring. Thank you for listening.